Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Kildalkey for this third round Brendan Davis Cup match between Trim and Kildalkey. The match is on about 30 seconds, and that's the first wide of the game, hit by Shawnee McGee, who's playing left half forward. We'll go through the teams in a minute. Quick look out from Kildalkey goalkeeper Mark McCormick, and it moves off there to Brendan McKeown, the cornerback, number 4. Forward on, blocked back out there by Shawnee McGee again. Shot in there wide a piece. Puck out from Trim goes towards Dylan Farrell, who misses the ball, but is picked up there by David Harmon. Ball goes towards the Trim side. There goes another wide there for Kildalkey. That's their second wide of the game. So in the early stages, 2 wides for Kildalkey, 1 wide for Trim. Trim goalkeeper Peter Farrell pucks the ball out down the middle towards Mark Malloy. Malloy misses the ball. Owen, that's a chop there from number 8 for Kildalkey. Out to David Murta here, number 8. Has a shot for a score in the first 3 minutes. Good score from David Murta to put the score 1 point to no score for Trim after 3 minutes play. Puck out now will come from Mark McCormick, former Trim player and championship winner with Trim, out towards the middle of the field, where it's won there by Shawnee Heavey, and back there to Conor Fitzgerald. Hits it back there to number 7 for Kildalkey, Kevin McKeown. Goes in there towards the goals. Kildalkey are through here, but it's a great block there by Rocky. Well, it's finished to the net there for Kildalkey by, looks like Connor Carney. So a goal for Kildalkey, somewhat against their run of play. So it's a goal for Kildalkey, 1 point for Trim. Puck out again, short one to Dimmy Higgins. Then towards the corner to Mikey Cole. Gives it back to Mark Malloy. Takes his eye off the ball. Goes back for it again. Tries to break through the tackle. Mark has a shot here. Gives it off towards the corner over to Josh Harris. Josh runs towards the corner. Is the ball gone out for a sideline? It's gone out for a sideline. Mark Malloy probably should have had a first time shot there, but from a nice ball out from Mikey Cole. Trim's puck outs have been good. 2 short balls got direct to Trim people.
Yeah, key to win your first ball from the puck out. It's possession is all important. Just a little bit disappointing that Kildalkey go down really with their first meaningful attack and get a goal out, which you'd like to have thought the full back line might have dealt with it a little bit better than that, but still plenty of time to recover. Nicely
taken the middle of the field there by Mark Malloy. He looks up and gives a nice ball in towards Brian Dowling in the corner forward, but it's won back there by David Keneally. Dylan Farrell goes on through, but it's won back by Martin Dorn. There on the ball for Kildalkey is Martin Healy. Martin Healy breaks out, gives it back to full back and captain Gary Kelly. Clears the ball down towards Evan Fitzgerald, or Conor Carney, but it's won back there by Sean McGee. Sean comes out onto his weakish side, gives it off to Dimmy Higgins. Dimmy cuts back to his weakish side, his left, gives it back out there to the wing towards Joey Cole. Joey hits it down the wing to the same corner towards Brian Dowling. Brian goes out, grabs the ball in the 21, should pass the ball back across. Tries for Josh Harris, misses it, and it goes to midfielder. It's not Podger Gagan on the list, but so the ball goes out over the sideline for a sideline ball for Trim. This will be taken by cornerback Gary Fleming. We'll run through the teams when we get a minute. Trim full back lines out as Harry Cottrell, minor from last year. Great cut by Gary Fleming towards centre half forward Arnie McGee, but it's got there by centre back Martin Doran. Great style for Kildalkey. Finds number 2 David Keneally. Keneally back down towards centre back Dimmy Higgins. It's in there towards full forward again and back out towards Shawnee Heavey, but he misses his shot. Evan Fitzgerald comes out here. Evan is left-handed, gives it back out the field towards Conor Carney. Really well tackled by Shawnee McGee, and I was going to say Colin O'Rourke. Kieran O'Rourke grabs the ball. I don't think Colin ever held the hurl in his hand, or if he did, he might have got rid of it all right. That goes on there towards Dylan Farrell. It goes to Brian Farrell. Should slot it from here. Brian Farrell, as I said, it should be Brian Dowling. Trim's second score of the game. Nice score from Brian Dowling. And a quick puck out again. It seems to be the nature of hurling now that quick puck outs are the want of the day. So with about 5 minutes gone, It's 1 goal for Kildalkey and 2 points for Trim. Sideline here going to be taken, I think, by Dylan Farrell. Great ball in towards the goals. It comes across here to this side towards David Murta. David tries to beat Martin Healy, which he does. Flicks it back out towards Dylan Farrell. Dylan's on the ball, gives it back to David. David with the left hand. Oh, poor strike by Davey. Should have given it across the square. And it's taken there and gives it on to David Harmon. David Harmon down the wing towards Danny Coleman. Danny, a lovely ball, and blocks it well. David Murta's on the ball, finds a nice ball to Mark Malloy, who tries to skip through the tackle. Not one free in this game yet so far. Pat is not whistle happy tonight, and there's 5.5 minutes gone. Ball towards centre forward Arnie McGee, who loses out again to Martin Dorn, and Kevin McKeown gives it away towards Gary Kelly, where Mikey Cole picks the ball up and hits a wide for Trim's second wide of the game. Short puck out again there towards Brendan McKeown, who delivers it down, and it's very well run there by Harry Cottrell. Harry's a minor from last year, he's just 18 years of age. Comes out towards Danny Coleman. Danny fouled, but he got away with it. Pat is not blowing his whistle tonight, and it's a line ball this time to Trim. So a lively encounter so far, Fergal.
Yeah, and you've mentioned a few lads there that are minor. I must point out as well that like Josh Harris, Danny Coleman, Harry Cottrell and I think Mikey Cole were in Antrim for a few days after their leaving cert and drove down specifically for this game tonight. So it just goes to show there might be young fellas, and they're showing great commitment to the club. I'm sure they will go back up to join the bit of crack up in Belfast or wherever they are up in Antrim, but it shows great commitment to the club to be able to come down and play in a Brendan Davis Cup. It's so young.
That's for sure, yeah. You have to admire the commitment there. So ball goes in again towards Harry Cottrell, who bundles Evan Fitzgerald off the ball. Harry goes back towards it. Evan bends, doesn't get it, the strike, clears back out to Gary Fleming, who hits a mighty clearance in there towards Brian Dowling. Brian's on and flicks it on there towards Josh Harris, but back there goes David Keneally. David Keneally picks up, he should find Mark McCormick, who does. Big left hand coming here, huge clearance from McCormick down towards Shawnee McGee. Shawnee grabs it nicely in the left back position, clears out the ball, finds Joey Cole. Joey is on to Harry Cottrell. Harry towards Malloy in the middle of the field. Malloy plays a great ball in there towards Bino again. Brian flicks it on this time again, but there's nobody reading the break. Out comes, is it David Keneally again, and gives it back to David Harmon. Harmon out the wing there towards who's that? It looks like Paddy Potterton, but Kieran O'Rourke wins the ball, but is taken back off him again. This is back to Conor Carney. Carney tries for Sean Heavey, but it's won again there by Heavey wins it, gives a flick over his head, dangerous ball in there, and full forward for Kildalkey. Martin Healy scores their first point of the game, and it is 1-1 to 2 points. Short puck out again towards Sean McGee. Trimmer find the men with the puck out. Sean gives the ball in there towards Brian Dowling, but it's going to carry out too far, and former Trim player Mark McCormick allows the ball to go out there for a wide. Trim's third wide of the game. Good stuff actually, Fergal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's end to end, and you mentioned Pat Gannon hasn't blown the whistle too often, but he hasn't really had to either. Plenty of fair hurling so far, and plenty wide open, so it's good to see.
Sean Heavey put his hand up there, not advisable against Dimmy Higgins, and he cleared the ball out, and in pops Malloy again. Little slap there, but Pat is not blowing his whistle tonight. And Gary Fleming, who steps in and comes out with the ball, well, that looked like a free, but again no free. Then Gary Fleming fouls, but eventually he does give a free. So I think that's the first free of the game after 9 minutes, which is almost unheard of.
Definitely between Trim and Kildalkey anyway, it might be unheard of, but I know it's been free flowing and open so far, and of course the first time he blows a free, I think he's actually might produce a yellow card, or maybe it'll just be a tick in here for, is it Gary Fleming? Yeah, so no yellow card, just a ticking and a warning that if he has to blow it a second time, he might give him a yellow. Yeah.
So he was fouled first himself, Gary, and then he lost it, and then he fouled back. So this is Conor Carney's first free of the game, and there is 9.5 minutes gone, and Conor's usually very sharp at these frees. He's only 55 yards out. So he's over the free. 1-1 to 2 points. Conor Carney still stands over it. So Conor's first free goes over the bar to make it 1-2 to 2 for Kildalkey with 10.5 minutes gone. Puck out from Trim goes towards Arnie McGee, flicks through. David Murtagh goes onto it, wins by Arnie McGee. Arnie is fouled, no free again. There goes Mark Malloy. Malloy just misses the pick, and eventually we get a free. Probably 25 seconds too late, and that looked handier than the first one. So Malloy was fouled, and was it Joey Cole will stand up to this, or Brian Dowling? Brian Dowling will stand up to this. So it's Trim's first free of the game after almost 11 minutes. Brian with a similar distance to the free that Conor Carney had 5 minutes or 2 minutes ago. So this to put just 2 points between the teams again. Brian has already scored one from a free or from play. Ben's lifts and strikes, and it's over the bar for second point for Brian, first from a free. So puck out again from Mark McCormick down towards Dimmy Higgins and Sean Heavey again, but it's won lovely there by Joey Cole. Joey gives a lovely ball to Josh Harris, and from 60 yards out Josh is a shot but misses and goes wide for Trim's fourth wide of the game. Puck out from McCormick again. High ball this time towards Danny Coleman. One there by Dylan Farrell, wins it at the second attempt. Now he takes it on through the tackle, does nicely, should play a flat ball in. It's in there towards Brian Dowling. Nice win by Brian. He should slot this one. Goes round his man and scores a lovely point for his third point of the game. Nice score from Trim, Flint.
Yeah, it's cracking hurling, and they're looking for their man every time and picking them out well. So keep picking their scores, and that goal will soon be reined in. Only a point in it now.
So 1-2 to 4 points, 1 point between them. Evan Fitzgerald goes out to the left hand side and gives it back towards his brother Conor, who misses the first touch. Finds the second one, gives it back to Sean Heavey, very experienced for Kildalkey. Misses his first pick, goes back out. Ball coming backwards from Kildalkey, but it might go to the right player at the right time. And number 7, I think is it Paddy Potterton? It is Paddy Potterton, the wing back, hits Kildalkey's third wide of the game. Puck out again from Peter Farrell. This time it goes towards Conor Carney. Conor is tackled by Dimmy Higgins and Rourke, a collective catch, but Pat allowed the advantage to Dimmy Higgins, who was fouled, and 7 Paddy Potterton came in with a little slap also, so there was nearly 2 frees. And this is only the Trim's second free of the game after 13 minutes, and only the third free of the game, which is great as long as there's no damage done. So Joey will have a go at this from approximately 90 yards. Lovely free taker Joey, another minor from last year. 3 minor. Trim have 3 minors from last year playing. Joey, Josh Harris and Harry Cottrell, and Joey slots that from almost 90 yards to level up the scores, and Joey's first score of the game. So the score is 1-2 for Kildalkey, 5 points for Trim. Very lively match, not much between the sides. Down the middle again, where Heavey will pull up his hand and Dimmy is with him. Goes through, and it's well run by Shawnee McGee. Shawnee and Dimmy are playing great in the half back line. Gives a lovely ball towards Brian Dowling out in the 21. Brian's going for number 4 from an acute angle. Does he get it? Wide ball. So 5, Trim's 5th wide of the game. Brian's on fire in there, 3 points so far. Puck out from McCormick again, gives it just to the 21 yard to Gary Kelly, who gives it over to David Keneally. David takes on Brian Dowling, goes round him. Brian slaps at him. Out there to Paddy Potterton. Paddy gives it back there to Gary Kelly. This is Limerick type hurling here. Back on to Paddy Potterton, who gives it on there to Shawnee Heavey. Shawnee has a shot there from 60 yards, and the ball's gone over the bar for Heavey's first point of the game, and it'll put Kildalkey back in the lead again.
Really shouldn't have counted that score, CJ. The ball, man standing in the middle of the D from Mark McCormick's puck out, should have been a throw in there. There was no way that puck out should have been allowed, and the score comes off it straight away. But go for the water break now anyway.
Go for the water break, 2 points. It's 1-3 for Kildalkey, 5 points for Trim. very entertaining stuff for Fergal.
Yeah, good stuff so far. I said both sides playing decent hurling, and it's a completely different challenge than what Trim might have faced in the first couple of games. The first round against Blackhall was a game that they were expected to win and win comfortably, but they actually made quite hard work of it. And then the second game against Kildalkey, which they ended up winning comfortably, was a real physical battle and tested the mettle of a lot of fellas, especially the younger fellas coming in. So this is, with no disrespect to Blackhall Gales or Kildalkey, when you're coming to Kildalkey to play Kildalkey, you expect a higher standard of hurling, and you can see it already that the quality of the hurling is probably a little bit higher than what we've seen in the previous two rounds. But Trim are hurling well, they're finding their men. The quick puckouts, as you said, are crucial. Retaining that possession straight away, building the moves from the back, and Beano's on fire, so they're getting it to their scorers, and they're getting their scores, CJ. But so only the 2 points in. I'd say Trim will be pleased. It's 4 scores to 5. Just that goal really is the telling difference between the two at the minute, but Trim will have to be happy.
Yeah. But I find when you get to this level, your first touch is vital, Fergal. You get away with it against lesser teams, so your first touch must come up, and if it doesn't, it's whipped away. So in the better class matches, touch is everything and speed is everything.
Yeah, and when players are given just that little bit of, because of the first touch, you get that little bit of extra time and room when the ball is in your hand straight away, and both sides are making it count. I don't think, if you've been keeping the track on the wides, I'm not sure too many have been missed, maybe a couple on either side.
Trim had 5 and Kildalkey had 2. Puck out coming for Peter Farrell after the water break. Huge ball there from Peter towards Arnie McGee at centre half forward. Ball breaks through, comes back to David Murta, should give it down the line, which he does to Dylan Farrell. Dylan's on an acute angle, but that's some score if it's a score. Brilliant score from Farrell, really well done. Nicely played by David Murta. Nice ball down the wing, and Dylan slots it from a huge acute angle. So a short puck out again down here towards Conor Carney again, and Gary Fleming's on touches it lovely away to Shawnee McGee. Shawnee, that was a lovely ball, and it just went through Joey Cole. But I think the emphasis is on finding your player here, Fergal, this evening. There's nobody pucking the ball aimlessly.
No, it's accurate, precise hurling, and that last point exemplified that. Just a clever puck out from Peter, finding his man down into the corner, and Farrell pucking it over the bar. It was really just 3 touches and over the bar. It was brilliant.
Yeah. So nice sideline cut in there towards Martin Healy and David Murta. It's won by Martin Healy, or the other Healy, which is Mark Healy, and that's slotted in there towards Podge O'Geoghegan, and he scores his first score of the game to leave it 1-4 to Kildalkey, 6 points to Trim. Nice ball down towards Mikey Cole. He should have won that. He wins it second time from the same angle again. Hits it wide. It's Mikey's second wide of the game, but he got on that ball really well. Trim 6 wide of the game. Puck out strategy is working very well for Trim. And here comes Joycey, I'd say maybe centre forward for Arnie, if I know anything about the game. I don't. Dimmy Higgins gone off. Dimmy must be hurt. Malloy's gone back centre back. Dylan Farrell's gone midfield, and Kieran Joyce gone a wing forward. Puck out again from it. Is that one of those again? In the middle of the D. I don't think he can be there. Arnie challenges Martin Dorn, and ball goes free, and it's won there by Josh Harris. Back there to Joycey. Joycey just didn't slip in quick enough. Josh is going to win this with his pace, and he goes on with his pace. Or Dylan with Gary Kelly. Gary one-handed, doesn't pick the ball out towards the side, and they shouldn't foul there because he's not going anywhere, but that's given to Martin Healy. Martin Healy finds a nice ball out towards the wing towards Conor Carney and Gary Fleming. Carney and Fleming having a great tussle, but Gary's getting on top there. I think the free should have been the other way, actually. The free should have been the other way. So Gary was penalised there against Conor Carney. It was now very 50-50. It could have went either way, and in fact I think it could have been to Trim without being biased. So Conor Carney stands over the ball looking for his second point of the game. His first was a free. Kildalkey 1 point ahead, 1-4 to 6 points. Connor with a free from about the same place as he slotted the first. Connor bends, lifts and strikes and slots that over the bar. So that's Connor's second score of the game, second from a free, and Kildalkey go 2 points ahead. This one goes towards Joycey, but it's won there by Martin Healy, but won back again by Joycey. Mikey Cole, Mikey slapped a little bit there, but it's won back again by Martin Healy. Martin hits the ball towards Danny Coleman. Danny slips in, but it's won there again by Podger Gagan. Podger slips it on to Sean Heavey. Lots of experience between those two. Out slips Rourke, comes towards Sean Heavey. Heavey has the ball towards the sideline, gives the ball in there towards Mark Healy. Mark tried to beat the tackle. No free. Mark still carrying the ball. It's a free. It gets to be over. Carried the ball towards Kevin McKeown, who's fouled, and it's a free in. That was a free, but Mark Healy ran about 10 steps with the ball.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to apply the technical rules tonight. You know, you can overcarry by the looks of things. You can maybe catch it twice and definitely take a puck out inside the D. You take the hand clean off a fella or an ankle clean off a fella, that'll be a free, all right, but not else.
If I was the Trim management, I'd be reminding Pat about the rules, because one is terrible, two is tragedy. So here comes Conor Carney looking for his third free of the evening to put Kildalkey a goal ahead. It would leave it 1-6. He shouldn't miss this. It's only outside the D, 25 metres from the Trim goal. Strikes, not his best, but straight over the bar. So that's Conor's third of the game. Pat is getting a little bit more whistle happy now. Peter Farrell gives it to Gary Fleming. Gary finds it nicely, should drive the ball on, gives it back to Rourke. David Murtagh is free on the right, but he finds the ball down the middle to Malloy. Malloy turns on his left and strikes a nice ball in there towards Mikey Cole. Mikey doesn't get it, but Bino does. Bino towards Josh Harris. Trimmer on the move here. Josh in towards Mikey. This is a point for sure. It's a goal. Class finish by Cole. Absolutely class. Class finish by Mikey Cole. That's what Mikey can do. He mightn't win every ball in the air, but by Jesus can he finish for him.
It's just like hit and repeat here. It's accurate, finding your man with the quick pass, quick release, get it into the scoring forwards and bang, a goal. Brilliant goal.
Yeah. So the game continues at a pace. Podger Gagan, lots of experience, beats Danny Coleman and fires a nice score over the bar for Podger's second score of the game, to leave the score 1-7 to, or 1-6 to 1-7. Joycey comes out for it, comes towards Arnie and Martin Doran having a good battle in the middle there, but it's won there in the middle of the field by David Harmon. David gives it on towards Mark Malloy. Mark doesn't miss those, turns to his left side, can score from there. Mark has a good shot at goal straight over the bar. Malloy's first score of the game. Very good game of hurling, time of year. Cup match.
Brilliant scoring, brilliant point from Podge Gagan for Kildalkey just before that one, and anything Podge can do, Mark Malloy proved he can do it as well. David
Keneally from cornerbacks comes down the field 50 yards out. He's having a shot. Is that over the bar? It's gone wide for Kildalkey's third wide of the game.
That's what cornerbacks are for, CJ.
Correct. On towards Joycey, puck out working well again. David Murtagh's free behind him, but it just goes a bit beyond him. This one goes to Podger again. Podger takes it through the tackle, gives it back to Martin Healy. Martin turns to his right, now to his left, gives it in there towards, who's in there? Oh, well run again. Shawnee McGee's the brilliant hand on him. Finds Kieran O'Rourke. Out to his left is Dylan Farrell, or Joey Cole. Joey's back on the ball again, back to Rourke. Somebody needs to get rid of this ball fairly quick. Rourke takes it through, doesn't. Oh, lucky enough to get us free. Pat is a little bit inconsistent, but sure, look, it's an entertaining match. 1-7 to 1-7. 24 minutes gone in normal time. Peter Farrell hits it across the square out to Gary Fleming. Gary's a wonderful strike. He should hit this 80 yards, which he does, in towards Mikey Cole, but in there is Gary Kelly, and it's very well run in there by, I think it's Brendan McKeown, or is it? No, it's Paddy Potton on there to centre back. Martin Doran out to David Keneally again. Keneally takes on, but who came in late there? I think it might have been Josh Harris. and it was a free for sure. So from the halfway line, Conor Carney will have a chance to put Kildalkey ahead once again. Very entertaining, Fled.
Yeah, brilliant game of hurling, and it's just good to see it. You know, everybody's trimmer shaping up now for county final in the 8th of August, and they're really starting to get sharp ahead of that game. They'll probably have another 2 or 3 games. I know next weekend is a free weekend for the hurlers, so they'll probably have another 2, maybe 3 games before the county final, so it's about time to sharpen up their skills, alright?
Sure. They still probably won't know their starting 15 because of all the lads that are missing, but it's great to see lads on the fringes getting game time and showing what they can do, and staking a place for staking a claim for their place in the final. So Conor Carney, 3 on the board already for Conor, halfway exactly on the halfway line out towards the far side of the field. Conor kind of doesn't hit it so good in towards Harry Cottrell, blocks it back out from Evan Fitzgerald, and there picked up is Gary Fleming, who's playing a lovely game of hurling, but he's blocked just as I say that. It's cleared out by Harry Cottrell out towards Joey Cole. Joey misses it, gives it back there to Conor Carney, who'll have another shot in, but that's a poor one, and Peter Farrell gathers easily. Farrell launch it down the field there towards Joycey, no better man under the ball, misses it, but it goes clean through. It's picked there again by Brendan McKeown. McKeown is left-handed, turns back to his right, but he's pretty left. This one goes on to David Harmon down the wing towards Evan Fitzgerald, and Harry Cottrell's playing very well on Evan. Koch gets by him again, out to Gary Fleming, who's on any amount of ball, plays a lovely ball towards David Murta, on to Mark Malloy, a beautiful ball over towards Mikey Cole. If Mikey just misses it, and it's gone over his head. Gary Kelly picks it up, gives it back to McCormick, who'll turn to his left, but misses it, and Mikey's in again, and it's in towards, but Brendan McCall gathers it. He's another left-handed hurler, and this one's out to Gary Kelly, who switches his hands and gives the ball out to David Keneally left-hand side down that field, down towards Mark Healy, but out in front is Rourke. Trimbacks are really playing well, they're right in front of the players. Misses it, as I said. Mark Healy back towards, but it's nicely won by Malloy. Malloy is class, comes out with the ball onto his right side. Nice clearance down the field towards Joycey. Joycey needs a bit of a hand here. Oh, and he's fortuitous to get the free there. Pat is good man, Pat. That's okay, we'll take that one. So this is a free that I'd say Joey Cole will have a go at. Kind of funny, sort of like Pat's a good man, but he doesn't give the hard one, he gives the soft one.
Yeah, he's an absolute gentleman, Pat. You absolutely love talking to him, and he's a great man, but he does see things out there that others don't see. And you know, when players are doing that, you say they're class acts that sees things they don't see. Not so much maybe with referees.
So Joey stands over this looking for a second score of the game. The first one was a huge score from about 90 yards. This one is inside the 65. Nice lift and strike by Joey. Beautiful score for Joey to put Trim ahead. Joey's second free of the game. Beautiful striker of the ball, Joey. McCormick gives it out short again, this time towards Arnie and Martin Dorn. Martin takes it through, and it gives it on there to, who's that, David Harmon, I think. Left hand ball come in there towards McGee. Fantastic hand by Shawnee, playing fantastic. Half back line for Trim, really good. Malloy and Shawnee. That's Brendan McKeown again, comes out onto the left side into Martin Dorn, won by Joycey. Low ball required. Joycey has a shot for out the sideline. Scored tonight by Joycey. Beautiful score for Joycey's first of the game to put Trim 2 points ahead with can't see Flid's watch. Almost half time. Another ball down by, but really well run by little Harry Cottrell again. Back to Shawnee McGee, who's having a field day at wing back. Gives a lovely ball there to Joey Cole. Beautiful touch. Through the middle, finds Mikey. Mikey's on the go. Gives it to Joycey. Joycey still gives it back to Dylan Farrell. Dylan has a shot for goals, but Dylan's been off a little while. That just didn't come off. McCormick with the left hand, nearly got caught again. Gives it out towards the sideline where Joey Cole goes for it. Nice ball by Joey down towards Josh. Two hands, Josh. Goes towards, nicely flicked on towards Mikey. Oh, nice clearance there by Gary Kelly, just about on the ball. Conor Fitzgerald wins it and gives it back to David Keneally. Keneally hits a terrible ball towards Evan Fitzgerald, where it's won again by Harry Cottrell. Shawnee McGee, who can do nothing wrong tonight, comes out with back to Dylan Farrell, gives it on there to Joycey. Joycey's out with the sideline again, he can't score another one from there. advantage played to Trim, and Joey Cole will stand over this looking for his third score. Trim really playing well now. Every back, Harry Cottrell's on top of Evan Fitzgerald, Gary Fitzgerald or Gary Fleming's on top of Conor Carney, Rourke's got on top of Mark Healy now. Trim are playing really well.
Yeah, and Sean McGee is probably the best player on the field. I think it's that the Trim backs are relishing the challenge. You know, they're good players they're up against, and they've stepped up to the mark every single time. Just looking at Joyce's last point there, I'd say the views will go up on our Facebook later on, because we were right behind that score. I'd say Joyce will be looking at it, falling asleep looking at that one for the rest of the week anyway,
or the rest of the year maybe. Joey lifts and strikes again from halfway line. He hits this one wide for Trim, 6 wide of the game. Game approaching half time. Big puck out this time from McCormick down towards Danny Coleman and Mark Malloy. Coleman does well, gets on the ball, carries it through to Arnie. Pat says that Joey Cole threw the ball up and caught it, so it's going to be a free to Carney from the middle of the field, and he may well slot this for his 4th one of the game. From the middle of the field, Danny was a little unlucky. He did everything right that time. He got the ball ahead of the 2 wing forwards for Kildalkey have swapped. Podger Gagan's gone right half forward, Conor Fitzgerald's gone left. Both were struggling on their markers. Here's Conor Carney now with one that he may well slot from the middle of the field. Bends and lifts, strikes. Carney. The umpire wasn't sure, but he gave it. So that's Connor's fourth point of the game. All frees. And Peter Farrell gives a short ball down to Gary Fleming. Gary can drive it on. Nice ball down the sideline by Gary towards Joycey again. Ball doesn't beat David Harmon, but goes out over the sideline, where David Murta will stand over it. Trim's puck out strategy is really good. If they're marked low, they're given a short Fergal. So David stands over this. Gives a nice ball in towards Brian Dowling. Does he get it? It's clipped up by Brendan McKeown. McKeown stays outside. Gives a grand ball to Arnie. Chalk this one up if he gets it. Oh, saved by McCormick. Back into his hand. And McCormick is somewhat either theatrical or a free. Which would you say, Fergal?
I thought it was a great save, and Schlitter could have went anywhere, and it came down on top of him as players were coming in. You have to give him a lot of credit there. I thought he did well. Yeah, I think you have to protect a goalie at all stages, especially when lads are coming running in at you like that. I know there's a goalie, or a lot of other players think goalies are soft, but you have to protect them too.
Long ball out from McCormick again, brilliantly won by Conor Fitzgerald. Gives it on there towards Shawnee Heavey, who's quiet enough at centre forward. Joey Cole goes towards him. If he doesn't foul him, he could win it back with his pace, but Heavey does well, collects, gone inside him, back outside towards the 21 towards Evan Fitzgerald. Evan gathers that. Evan is left sided. Oh Jesus. Anyway, for another free in for Kildalkey. I think Pat likes to level things up a little bit, and I think this will level it up, and it'll be probably the last shot of the first half. Conor Carney is taking the free, and it'll be brought in front of the goals for somebody having a word. It looks like Shawnee McGee is having a word with Pat Gannon.
You know, and it was a problem against Blackhall Gales as well, that indiscipline in front of the post allowed Colin Whitty, and if you give away frees anywhere within 65-70 metres, with the calibre of the free takers like Colin Whitty with Blackhall Gales, Conor Carney here tonight, you just may chalk it down as a point straight away. Any bit of indiscipline inside 65, so Trim need to just have a little bit more look at that in their game, because you can be sure Ratoath have plenty of lads that will take their frees as well in the county final.
Well, the other thing is that the very same thing happened against Longwood last year. 2 balls were brought in, it was 2 goals, and the game was almost lost from a match winning position. So it comes back out, but it's given back in towards Mikey Cole. David Harmon goes for it. Harmon collects really well, and somebody stood in there. Well, it was. Maybe I'm wrong, but it was somewhat accidental. But it did get Davy on the head.
It was a completely accidental collision. Joycey kind of moved in as the player was stooping down just to pick the ball, and might have caught him with his hip on the helmet. Now he did seem to go down, and he is hurt, David Harmon. I hope he's all right. But it was a bad enough bang to the head, but it was completely accidental. So,
at the end of a very entertaining, I'm going to make a statement here. This could end up a draw, because Pat will he'll go somewhat towards it, but it's a really good game of hurling.
Yeah, it's a cracking game of hurling, as we said several times during the first half. We're looking, you look at Trim and it's the quick, accurate, precise ball. Scores coming with the minimum fuss. John Andrews here is just about to advise the referee of some of his refereeing experience, but Trim being direct with the ball, two or three players getting onto the ball and the ball going over the bar, so it's good to see that type of direct hurling from Trim, and it needs to be capitalised on now, but they're doing well.
No, I know the rules of the game. Not so bad.
A lot of these lads, just looking at them, a few of them were involved in the football the other night as well against Longwood, and there's going to be a hectic schedule coming up. Next week is a free weekend for Trim in the Brendan Davis, and in the third team as well will have a free weekend, or the second team and third team will have free weekends. Actually, there's only two teams, isn't it, in the cup, so they will have a free weekend next weekend, but it will be busy then next weekend with football championship. So you have Trim. They are trying to ring chivers, but Trim in a local derby in the Curnabonia next Wednesday night against Dunderry, and then Friday night they're out in the first round of the Premier Division 1, having won the Premier Division 2 last year, promoted to Premier Division 1 in the football championship. So they're playing in the first round of that against Screen next Friday night, and then Saturday the third football team are out. So a lot of these lads that are playing here tonight will be busy.
Fergal Lynch is the coach of both football teams, that's why he's telling you that.
Yeah. And I want to make sure that the hurlers are available for it as well. But Chivers wants us to cut, so we're gone for 5 minutes. We'll be back shortly.